walking ballsack almost got terminated by Invincible, but was saved on the brink of death. So like anyone, he wants revenge. So the main plan he has to get his revenge is to get all the evil Invincibles, and this is the stupidest plan, cause this Invincible smoked your police unit, this one killed your wife, and this one exploded your son's head, but you choose to work with them to kill the only good Invincible. Day 1 starts with the evil Invincibles destroying places and all kinds of heroes fighting, and you could tell all they want is chaos, cause hear what this one says.
I wouldn't even keep you as a slave in my empire.
This nigga is crazy.
We see Rex and Shrink Ray moving into the new apartment when an explosion happens nearby. So Rex suits up to help. The real Invincible shows up to the prison when he is greeted by Mohawk Mark. And after Mohawk Mark finds out this is the good Invincible, he throws a jab, but gets weaved and slammed into the building and... he hit that man so hard that it went in slow motion. Our Mark is somehow getting cooked. That nasty ass cut must get +10 to all attributes, because how is he on top of you right now? But as Mohawk Mark has the advantage, Mark smashes both of his ears. We get some NPC heroes that show up and start giving Mr. Invincible combos. And let me remind y'all that this is Earth's strongest hero getting dog walked by some no-name. Anyways, Oliver sees the news on the TV and decides to get into the action. And we go back to see Mark not getting his ass beat anymore and dashes to catch up with Adam Eve. It turns out that the evil Invincibles also hit the Paragon, but those Reanimen mean business. There's supposedly 18 Invincibles on Earth right now, so Cecil wants to get backup when it skips to these heroes. And is this the best Cecil could do? Cause this is a whole child, and this is the woman that got her ass beat by Black Samson. Y'all might as well stay home because y'all life is as good as gone once you make it outside. We didn't see Oliver helping some people when he sees Mark. He flies to him when he is shocked to see the face of this ugly ass nigga and starts getting his ass beat. But Oliver is not going out easy as he does a baseball slide into a punch straight to the back. But the evil Invincible variant looks at him and says, "Thanks for getting that crook out of my back. It'll make beating your ass even easier." Right before he attacks, the NPC heroes come right in time. Mark and Eve fly to see the NPC heroes actually holding their own for a little while, which doesn't last for long as he gets the upper hand. Mark swoops in and punches the evil one like 40 feet. Even Mark starts jumping him so bad that he can't even get an attack in. That is until Omni Mark shows up and dashes to Eve. As Omni Mark is about to take her head off, the real Mark grabs him by the cape and starts throwing him in a circle until the other Invincible gives him a double axe handle, slamming Mark into the ground. They started giving Mark the same treatment the other Invincible got just a moment ago, with Omni Mark dashing towards Eve, breaking her leg and slamming her into concrete. Mark now has to both protect Eve and fight off the variants, and with how much he gets his ass beat, that is pretty much impossible. Luckily, Cecil brings the Reanimen to beat on the Invincible variants and takes Eve to the hospital. When Mark arrives at the hospital with Eve, he talks with Cecil, deciding not to continue in the war. And I want to remind y'all again that not only is he the strongest hero on Earth, but his little brother Oliver is still out there fighting for his life. And he still decides to stay at the hospital. Going out of space, we see that man very mortal, actually catching a dub. But this W would be short-lasting, because when they get back to Earth, we see the non-Guardians of the Globe laid out, just like I expected. And this Invincible variant is just playing around, almost doing Darkwing like the OG, and showing why I gave Very Mortal his nickname, because this man gets punched to the ground and his head stomped from his body. Evil Invincible grabs that head and uses it to kill the last duplicate, but out of nowhere, we see Darkwing jump from the top rope, putting him into that Shadowverse. We skip to another Invincible, having Rudy in a chokehold and rips him out of his suit. He's ready to send him to the afterlife until Bulletproof swoops in and saves him, before suffering the same fate that every hero this episode has suffered. Rex comes in and tells everyone to leave because he is about to do something that I wish never happened in the show. Rex is actually putting up some offense, even dropping the Invincible variant to the ground. He then prepares a devastating attack by exploding the floor, but there's one thing he forgot: Invincible can fly. This will turn out to be a big mistake because he gets grabbed just like Rudy earlier. So Rex has no choice but to explode his entire skeleton to delete the variant and sacrificing himself in the process. RIP to the GOAT, man. We didn't see the aftermath of day 2. Oliver is actually alive, and Powerplex even eliminated one. You know he was giddy inside. This is like the best day of his life. Day 3 starts, where we see some of the Invincibles that's alive, and the insane chaos that they have caused. Angstrom is just watching, happy at at all the chaos he has caused, and all the evil Invincibles meet up with him. He tells them that he wants them to bring the real Invincible, but it turns out that Angstrom made deals with them in exchange for their help to ruin Mark's reputation. And because he hasn't held up his end of the bargain, they end up turning on him. But Angstrom seems to be 2 steps ahead, because he ends up sending all of them through portals to some abandoned desert. Meanwhile, while Invincible is in the hospital, he thinks about who would have orchestrated this whole entire massacre, which leads him to Angstrom. Next thing you see is Mark flying and punches Angstrom. Angstrom retaliates by spawning those little ball thingies to slam Invincible into the ground. Mark gets up and then dodges a portal, in which Angstrom starts spam attacking those portals like he's a Tekken player. He opens multiple portals, spraying out a whole horde of balls to push Mark back and piercing his skin, but with every ounce of strength, Mark claws his way and grips Angstrom by the neck. That's when Oliver shows up out of nowhere, just to tell Mark to put an end to Angstrom for good. And just like he should, Mark decides to take Oliver's advice, but he took too long to make that decision, because Angstrom ends up hitting him with a ball and going through his portal, but at least Mark takes his arm as a souvenir. When Angstrom gets back to the technicians, he demands for them to replace his arm, but they tell him that he has to do their bidding now, and if he doesn't like that, they can do this the hard way. And with that, the Invincible War is finally over. If you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe, I'm out.